to the We Only Do One Take podcast. It's the only podcast on earth that is a complete shit show. With me, it's just Turch today, the CFO of the show. And with me today, all the way from the USA, it's William. William is a very special individual that's got in contact with us. And he states that he is an archangel. Both God and Jesus have spoken to him and have completed miracles on his behalf. And the Secret Telepathic Police have also invaded his brain. So we're going to have a chat to him, find out a little bit more about this. So, William, thank you for coming on to the show.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. So, I'm just trying to find out a little bit more about you. See how did you know? How did you discover that you were an archangel?
Well, one night at work, my head felt really funny, and when I laid down for a short nap, all of a sudden I could hear heavenly voices saying, "Be an angel, be an angel," and I asked, "Is that what I am?" And they said, "Of course."
And that's it. So you just got that connection from God, saying, "Absolutely, you are an angel. Go forth and spread the word."
Yeah, that's more or less correct.
Mm.
And then another day at work, I was walking around my workplace, and the radio was kind of doing sort of low level nonsense, and then all of a sudden the volume increased, and I heard two words, "the teacher," and then the volume decreased again. So it was God sending me a message that I am the archangel named the teacher.
Fantastic. So were you very religious prior to this appearance of God?
No, I was raised Catholic.
Yep.
And I've discovered I have Jewish Hebrew ancestry,
Mm-hmm.
but I was not very religious.
Fantastic. So God came down, you heard him through the radio turning up and down the volume, did you say?
Yes, the radio went up and down on the volume, but it wasn't God speaking. But God manipulated the radio so that I heard those two words, the teacher.
The teacher.
The STP had prior to this communicated to me that I was either the teacher or the seeker. And it's become clear that I am the teacher.
Okay, fantastic. So the STP, how about we go a little bit about that, and then we'll talk about how it all connects up to being an archangel. The STP, for the audience at home, how about you tell us what that is? What is the STP?
The STP is a USA government effort to exploit the paranormal and telepathy. Mm-hmm. STP stands for Secret Telepathic Police. The USA government began experimenting with LSD as soon as it was discovered, mm-hmm. and they discovered hidden abilities of the human brain, and these abilities include being able to fly outside their body, and also some of the agents exhibit telekinesis, which is being able to manipulate matter using only brain power.
So have you out of curiosity, have you experimented with LSD at all?
I have, yes.
Okay, that's fantastic. And
I recognized LSD-like effects one night when an STP agent was inducing visual effects into my brain. Okay. I recognized LSD effects.
So this STP, this telepathic police force, how big of an organization is this within the government?
Well, they don't tell me things like that directly, but they have cycled in agents from all parts of the country, agents that have specific skills and abilities that maybe the local STP agents don't have.
And what is their primary purpose within the government here? Why are they, what's their purpose generally, and what's their purpose in connecting with yourself?
Well, I am the only archangel available, and the STP, I believe, already has angels in custody. Because I believe there's well, Jesus mentioned that when he was on the cross, that he could have legions of angels available if he called for them. So I believe there's legions of angels, but there's only about 13 archangels,
Right.
and I am one of them.
And what's the difference between an archangel and just a regular angel? What's the difference between the two?
Now, as far as I know, an archangel is a principal angel, and an archangel is gifted by God with more power and more abilities than the standard angel.
Okay, then. And so with the powers that have been given to you by God as being an archangel, what special abilities have you experienced in your life?
Well, I was able to fly outside my body once, but STP agent on duty immediately forced me back into my body. I haven't really been able to exploit any of my archangel capabilities because my brain has been hacked and reprogrammed, and I carry the STP with me wherever I go. The term is connected. The STP see what I see, hear what I hear, and if I use words, they understand whatever I'm thinking.
So it sounds like the God aspect with the being an archangel and that connection with God that you have is almost at odds, fighting against this secret telepathic police force owned by the government. Is that correct?
Yes, by attacking me, the STP, by inference or whatever you want to say, is also giving the finger to God.
Right. So the government does not like God, does not want God part of their or doesn't want to try to use your power for good. There's nothing like that at all.
No. The STP wants to do brain surgery on me.
Right.
Remove the part of my brain that comprises my personality, and leave the archangel capability behind for their use to exploit.
So there's a physical aspect in your brain that allows you to connect with the archangel, or is that more just the the LSD aspect?
I don't know exactly how it works, but I noticed funny things happening to me all through my life, and when I really got intoxicated with magic mushrooms, the archangel aspect kind of percolated through my brain, and the neighbors called the police because they could feel it.
Right.
I was so intoxicated.
So you take LSD and magic mushrooms to connect up with you as being an archangel. That's how you connect up with God and Jesus. Is that correct?
Not always, because I was completely straight at work.
Yep.
And several times, Jesus did a miracle for me, and I mentioned that one night, and and also the devil has angels working for him too. The angel known as Magic came around one night and set up a synthetic radio and played Voodoo Logic on it,
right?
Which was a real snappy tune.
Yeah. So God performs miracles on your behalf. You stated that in your bio and all that sort of stuff as well. What miracles has God and Jesus, other than the radio one on I guess not too distant past, what have they helped you perform?
Well, I was in church one time, and I was praying to Jesus, and and I requested that I become less attracted to little girls, and Jesus immediately went into my brain and did a little snip here and a little snip there, and I could feel the difference afterwards, and I was less attracted to little girls.
Right. And is that why you've sent me through some documentation there that you are wanted by the police?
Yes. The police, as I explained earlier, the police, I'm not exactly wanted. The police have a contract, like a hitman has a contract. The police have a contract on me, and they want to get me incarcerated so they can do the brain surgery.
Right.
But they lack felony evidence.
Right. And it's got nothing to do with that request that you gave to Jesus just before?
Yes, it's got nothing to do with that. STP, their goal is to exploit my archangel power. Right. It's been mentioned in the contract that it's stated that it's alive only and criminal only.
Yeah.
So they can't shoot me. Most like a usual wanted poster would be dead or alive, right? But they will only want me alive, and they only want me as a criminal.
Mm. Interesting. So these police, what power with the archangel powers? How do they want to use those powers? What do they want to use those powers for if they do capture you?
Well, I assume they want to use the powers as a booster pack to enhance their ability to spy on overseas. See what Hamas is up to, see what Al Qaeda is up to, see what the Taliban's up to, because I assume with the booster pack of my archangel capabilities, they would be able to fly anywhere in the world and spy on whatever they want to spy on.
Right. That when you talk about flying around the world, is it an actual physical flying, or this is like an astral projection type flying around the world?
It's astral projection.
Okay. And do you feel that has real world practical value within the army or within
Yes,
because
if you can fly over to Iran and go down into their hidden bomb shelters and their hidden nuclear bomb complexes and see what they're up to, that would obviously be beneficial.
Yeah. So does that astral projection actually translate into the real world? Have you astral projected somewhere, saw something that you shouldn't have, actually gone there and actually found out that what you projected was actually real?
No, because you see, the STP invaded and hacked into my brain long before I became aware that I was an archangel.
Right.
So any LSD or magic mushroom experiences that I had prior to 2001 or 2009, I didn't know I was an archangel. I just knew that I got so high that other people could feel it. Right. And that one time I did fly about outside my body. It was only seconds before the STP agent forced me back into my body.
So you've only astral projected once, and the STP came straight away, knocked you back down into your body, and pushed you back.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right, because my brain's been hacked. Right. It took a couple of years to do it, but the STP has hacked my brain. They've tied it into my sight. They've tied into my hearing. Everything I hear, everything I see, everything I think, I'm totally online with the STP, like a drone almost.
And in this conversation that we're having right now, they're probably monitoring that. Is that correct?
Exactly so.
Fantastic. And has anyone else around you from having this, you being hacked by the STP, has anyone else around you been affected by the STP or been harassed by them, or any sort of or had any interaction with the STP as well?
Very, very extremely infrequently.
Mm-hmm.
So one of my neighbors telepathically said, "Leave that man alone." One time, mm-hmm. when the STP agents were bothering me. Some people are extra sensitive to telepathy, mm-hmm. and they can sense this type of thing, that the STP are always attacking me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And and one other thing I wanted to mention: other people besides the STP can astral project themselves out of their bodies, because several times I've been visited by other people, not STP agents.
Yeah.
And they just come by to visit because they're fascinated with me being an archangel.
Yeah.
And this usually happens when I'm really intoxicated. Oh, and one other thing, uh, one time at work, I sent out a signal into space. I was able to access part of my archangel capability, and at least a dozen times, space aliens actually visited me and checked me out in the following months.
Fantastic. So let's talk about. We'll hold off on that because I want to talk about the space aliens, because I think that's one of the reasons why you contacted our little our Twitter page and all that. What does an STP agent look like? Do they come to you physically, or do they come to you only telepathically? How would we spot one in the wild?
Well, they don't. They are dedicated to preserving their anonymity. I don't usually perceive them. One time I perceived an STP agent getting his bearings by flying along the road, but that only happened one time. What I would like to mention, that in the early years following 2009, the first night of the Obama presidency, when President Obama gave the STP the go ahead to, or the permission to invade my brain and hack it. At first, they used gay agents, they used African American agents, and they used female agents. But I learned how to. I got a couple of agents fired by expressing that they might be sexually interested in their daughters, and if an STP agent that's connected to me gets sexually excited, I can feel it. Mm-hmm. So once they get sexually excited, I was able to transmit that, oh, you do have sexual desire for your daughter, and that's not allowed within the STP. So I got those two agents fired, and since then they no longer use gay agents or female agents or African American agents, and all the agents that they do use are male and Caucasian, and they've all been thoroughly tested for sexual desire for their daughters, because the STP got tired of losing agents.
So, out of your experience, male white STP agents have less of an attraction to their daughters compared to other races and sexualities?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the agents that the STP are using now have been psychoanalyzed thoroughly for any evidence of sexual desire for their daughters. They're not assigned to me unless they can prove to the psychiatrist that they have zero sexual desire for their daughters.
Right. So you say that you've astro projected a few times and connected up with aliens. Is that correct?
No, they came to visit me. I perceive the aliens as small spherical or circular forms. Mm. One time there was a little red dot within the circular form, and what was I going to say? Oh yeah, I know they actually did visit me, because they would grab hold of my brain and sort of like the STP agents do, and really go in and check it out, look around, see what they could see, because space aliens are fascinated by evidence of God.
Right. So they're in the same boat as us, wondering if God is actually real.
I would assume so.
Yeah. Okay then. And where did these aliens come from to come visit you? Is it from our galaxy?
Interstellar spaces. because remember the universe is 13 billion years old, right?
Yep.
And life pops up everywhere, and even though God didn't get involved in these interstellar star systems way, light years away, intelligent life evolved anyway. Right. And eventually they evolved telepathic power. And if you think for a moment, if you are not transporting mass, your velocity can be infinite if you're able to project yourself. And the STP agents can do it. They project themselves out of their body. I can do it if allowed. And space aliens can project themselves at infinite velocity from star systems that are light years away to come to visit me. And by logical inference, logical deduction, I might have sufficient power to visit them.
Right. Do you need to take LSD or any type of drugs to do this? If there's no interference by the STP, would you need some sort of medication drug, LSD, magic mushroom, to actually astro project?
Yes, I would, because if I'm totally straight, I can hardly access my Archangel powers, except that one time I flew outside my body, and one time I sent out that signal. But if the STP was not interfering, I could probably access more of my Archangel powers now that I know I am an Archangel.
Now, LSD and magic mushrooms sometimes can cause paranoia in the person who takes them, especially on a consistent basis. Do you think that that your taking of LSD and magic mushrooms has caused some sort of paranoia in yourself?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't feel that at all. Marijuana used to cause paranoia, but I quit smoking marijuana in 1998.
Right. And how often do you try to astro project yourself? Do you still try just to try and get around the STP and try to connect up with aliens and God on a consistent basis, or is this sort of you don't try anymore?
I only rarely pray to Jesus or pray to God for extra help. Let's see, what was I going to say? No, the STP are interfering. There's an entire area of my brain that's colonized by the STP, and they can interfere with my access to my Archangel powers usually. Obviously not always.
Yeah. Right there. Now, the powers that God have given you, other than the power to astro project, if there was no STP to stop you, what type of powers, other than and telekinesis, what would they have, and why have they given them to you?
Why did God make me an Archangel?
Yes.
Well, angels are messengers sent by God to Earth, and God has never elucidated to me why exactly he sent me to Earth at this time, or what he wants me to do. But he did send back in 1977. I was doing magic. I did magic mushrooms, and I was experimenting. It was a work day, so I did magic mushrooms, and I went to work, and I saw like a computer screen will have icons on it.
Yep.
I saw shimmering icons floating in the air of religious symbols.
Yep.
And I only remember two. One was the Jewish Star of David, and one was the cross of Jesus. But the entire air in front of me was full of shimmering religious icons. That was almost my first hint that something was special about me. One miracle that I observed when I was about 12 was we were on a road trip in Canada, and we were in a Volkswagen microbus, and my mother was driving, and there was a bridge, a narrow bridge coming up, and there was a semi on the bridge coming in the opposite direction, and I was kind of worried that we wouldn't be able to squeeze by, and I was looking at the corner of the bridge, and one moment it was completely squared off 90 degrees, and the next it was a little bit wider and curved. It actually changed shape in front of my eyes. So I knew God had performed a miracle.
Amazing. So you've tried to send out documentation. I saw the letter to one of the presidents here, both the three presidents, Obama, Donald Trump, and now Joe Biden, and you're trying to send your message out there. Just give a quick summary of the letter that you've been trying to send to the President of the United States. What do you want them to do?
Well, I need to publicize the STP.
Right.
People need to know that there's a secret illegal telepathic police force operating in the USA. Mm-hmm. Telepathy is not legally recognized, so the police, the STP, figure that they can do anything they want with it. They have a blank check to do whatever they want, as long as nobody is aware that the STP exists, then they can do whatever they want.
And how big of an organization is the STP? Do they come under like the FBI or the CIA? How big is it, and where, what's it connected to?
Well, they haven't sent me a fact sheet, but I figure that there's at least 2,000 or 3,000 STP agents.
Mm-hmm. Right. And as an archangel, you said there were 13. Have you ever met another archangel?
I'm not exactly sure. Yeah. One time an angel did visit me, and he kind of took a hold of me and astral projected me over to the local STP base, yeah, which is it's the Washington State Criminal Training Center, mm-hmm, or Criminal Justice Training Center. It's located at 19010 First Avenue South in Auburn, or not Auburn, 19010 First Avenue South in Burien, Washington. Mm. And he flew me over there, and this angel, kind of role played that he was shooting the STP agents. It was just total role play, but he demonstrated his anger with the STP and flew me over there to witness.
Amazing. So I've got a sort of more of a question that I had in my brain, thinking about yesterday, what I want to have a chat to you about. From my experience, I grew up Catholic as well, so very well known about the church and all that sort of stuff and God. Not really, more agnostic more these days, but I have a good understanding of not even my previous religion, but most religions across the board. God, in most cases, and even is quite powerful. There's a lot of power. Why isn't God allowing you to beat these STP, or giving you the power to beat the STP, if he wants you to do something on Earth?
Well, basically, this is kind of a guess, but God does not like to get involved in conflicts between men. If you look at World War II, the Nazis were slaughtering Jews by the millions, and God did not really get involved to stop it. But
if you're an archangel, you've got that interconnectivity with God, and I would think that by giving you these powers, he would try and help you go forth and do the work on his behalf.
Well, God is, all I can say is from my experience that God has given me a little help now and then, just a little bit of help, but he isn't he isn't attacking the STP directly, just to benefit me. I assume that. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention.
Yes.
One time, God and Jesus actually visited me, and the power of God was immense. It was unbelievably powerful. Jesus is, they say he's the Son of God, but he's actually in awe of God the Father. And I failed to kneel when God was present. I was on magic mushrooms, and I just continued to lie on my bed. And I didn't actually see God. It's only the seeker that sees God. But I felt God's presence, and I've regretted not kneeling ever since. But God has not abandoned me. God is a forgiving God. Let's see. So it's become clear that it was not God's intention for me to be God's gift to the STP. But other than that, God does not attack the STP directly in order to benefit me.
Well, I've just got some few questions. I think you've answered almost everything. Do you have a family? Or are you close with your family? And do they know about the Archangel aspect of your life?
It's funny you asked that. None of my siblings believe it. Mm-hmm. My mother absolutely flat denies it. Mm-hmm. She says she doesn't remember the bridge widening, mm-hmm. And she says that if she does have Hebrew ancestry, it wouldn't matter. But I have been able to figure out that Hebrew ancestry does matter. That all angels are Hebrews, mm-hmm. And this funny coincidence is both God and Jesus, or both me and Jesus, were born to, or firstborn sons, mm-hmm. of Jewish mothers named Mary.
So yeah, and do you speak with your family now and have any other connection with that, or you just try and meet up with other people in regards to being an archangel and other angels?
I haven't seen anybody in the...
Oh, I can't hear you, mate. I think you're covering up the microphone.
Oh, sorry.
That's better. There we go.
I haven't seen anybody in my family since Christmas 17 months ago.
Yeah.
They all flatly deny that I'm an archangel, and they tend to believe that I'm a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Fair enough. Do you these are ones I love asking people. Look, I like a good conspiracy theory here and there, and figuring and finding out other people as well. Do you believe in any conspiracy theories? Like, obviously, you believe that aliens, you can astral project and connect to aliens, and telepathic skills is something as well. Do you believe anything else, like, not the government did 9/11, or the moon the Earth is flat? Is there anything of those sort of nature that you actually believe in as well?
No, I regard both of those statements as fantasies. Yeah. I know there's still flat earthers. I know people believe 9/11 might have been a government conspiracy. Mm-hmm. And I know people believe that Pearl Harbor, the USA government allowed Pearl Harbor to happen so that the USA would enter the war. But what was I going to say? Now I lost my train of thought.
Okay. So that trust in the government for not, it's just this STP aspect of the government that you have your issues about.
Yes, I believe it's. I believe the STP is illegal. It's totally unfair that they should have hundreds or thousands of agents, and they attack me all the time, 24/7, 365. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to mention that I've that information that I sent to you, I've also faxed to all the senators and all the representatives in the USA government, and quite a few elected officials in state governments too. So everybody in the government is aware of the STP, but but the president says keep it quiet.
Right. Oh, look, I think I'm all my questions I've asked you, you've answered. You've been absolutely fantastic. It's been absolutely fantastic having you on the show. I think we're going to keep in touch and we'll keep up to date. Maybe every 6 months we'll check in with each other, have a quick chat as well. Hopefully my co-host can be here as well. But look, if people wanted to find out more about yourself and the STP, where can they go on the internet or anything else like that to find out more information?
Well, they can. I'm on Twitter. Mm-hmm. I'm on Facebook. I don't think I want to. Well, I could spell out my emails, but they can look for Secret Telepathic Police Conspiracy on Facebook, and they can look on Twitter.
Yeah,
I'm very there. Mm-hmm. If they want to find me, they can find me.
Fantastic. Well, William, I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. We'll try to get this out ASAP, but thank you so much. Hope to keep in contact. Keep yourself safe, and I'm sure we'll talk to you soon.
Oh, thank you very much. Very much, Turch.
Have a good one, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Christ. I'm sorry, everybody. That was something else. That really was.